What if I told you that school isn't what you think it is? What if I told you that the very institution that we trust to educate our children was never designed for learning, but for control?
But our country's education system is really struggling.
We're in crisis. Every school is in crisis.
We are £487,000 worse off this year than last year.
Like so many issues at the moment, it's all down to funding. What I found from speaking to head teachers across London was a shocking and desperate situation. 9 in 10 schools in England are expected to run out of money by September, and many are already running on huge deficit budgets, meaning they're having to close. To give you an example, one primary head teacher I spoke to says he's had to make either 20 staff redundant or have 60 student classes just to even think about breaking even, though he says he would resign before letting that happen. Now, obviously, funding has never been plentiful in education, but many school leaders say it's been a good decade since they were able to comfortably afford the things they reluctantly call extras.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my Exit the Matrix series. My name's Laura Maelstrom. I am a mindset guru. I am a past teacher, and I'm currently training to become a psychologist. And I also have ADHD. Today, we are diving into the deep origins of schools and the eerie similarities that they share with prisons, and how the world is now waking up to the reality that traditional education is failing, not just for neurodivergent kids, but for everyone. We're currently entering the Treta Yuga, a time of consciousness, evolution and change. School as we know it is about to become obsolete, but first, let's talk about how we got here. Now, back in post-industrial revolution Britain, education wasn't about nurturing minds. It was about preparing them for a life of labour.
In 1771, a 5-storey building was built in Cromford, Derbyshire. Curious passers-by marvelled at its scale, the constant clatter of machinery, and if they were passing at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m, the 200 men, women and children filing in and out for their shift. This was Richard Arkwright's mill, the world's first successful water-powered cotton spinning mill and one of the world's first modern factories. What would have appeared alien in the 1770s became increasingly commonplace in many towns and cities just a few decades later, transforming British cities, the economy, society, and eventually even British politics.
Dame schools were the beginning, and it was a place where the working class children were taught the bare minimum: obedience, basic literacy, and enough skills to be useful for the workforce. Sounds familiar? The elite had their own institutions, but for the rest, schools were factories for the proletariat, which is the unwashed masses. And guess what? They still are. Let's compare. Both schools and prisons have very rigid schedules. Both have bells controlling your every move. Both separate you from the outside world, force conformity, and punish those who resist. Both are designed to break individuality, to create compliant workers. And education should really be about curiosity, about exploration, about creativity. But instead, it's about obedience, standardized testing, and preparing kids for a system that sees them as replaceable cogs in the capitalist machine. Right now, schools are struggling more than ever. And if you've been on the inside like I've been on the inside, it's very disturbing. And I don't work in schools that are underprivileged in city centres. I actually work in some of the best schools in the local area, and all of them are terrifying. Even the private schools that I've been to have an essence of subordination and obedience and removing individualism. And it's not something that I feel comfortable partaking in anymore, which is why I've quit teaching. Neurodivergent kids are being left behind. Provisions are inadequate. Teachers are undertrained. Teaching assistants have barely any training. And classroom sizes are unmanageable. What we're beginning to see is that the government are trying to push in more and more new teachers because established teachers are leaving the profession due to how difficult it is. The problem with this is that the new teachers have no idea what they're doing. And so we have lots of underqualified or newly qualified people leading schools, as well as loads of supply teachers as well, constantly being in use, which means that the kids get no consistency. There's nothing wrong with being a supply teacher, but if you're somebody that is coming in for a week here, a week there, a day there, a day there, you actually don't manage to kind of create a bubble for yourself within the school. And ultimately, the kids don't trust you, they don't know you, and they don't respect you. So it feeds back into bad behaviors. Now, teaching assistants, many of whom are the backbone of special education, are often underqualified, underpaid, and unsupported. And the teachers, they are leaving in droves. They're burnt out from the impossible expectations and the major lack of resources. And what does this mean for students? Anxiety, depression, a complete disconnection from learning, and a system that punishes instead of nurtures. And let's talk about bullying, because it's not just other kids. Schools themselves bully students into submission. Individuality is erased, creativity is discouraged, and if you don't fit into the narrow mold, you're often labelled as a problem. Mental health issues are skyrocketing among young people, and yet schools still demand attendance over well-being, grades over self-worth. Is this education, or is it indoctrination? But here's the good news. The world is waking up. We are shifting, and we are on the verge of the traitor Yuga. A time of higher consciousness where control structures will crumble, freedom and creativity and true knowledge will rise. And in this shift, schooling as we know it will disappear. We're already seeing more families turning to homeschooling, where learning is individualized, free and aligned with a child's natural curiosity. Education should seek to empower, not oppress. And as we enter into this new era, we must ask ourselves, are we raising thinkers or are we raising workers? The system is crumbling. Change is inevitable. And the question is, will you wake up to it? If this video resonated with you, then let's keep the conversation going. Please make sure you like, share and subscribe, and let me know, what do you think about the future of education? And if you're enjoying this, make sure that you check out the link to my Exit the Matrix playlist, where we've already talked about transgenderism, autism, the ideas of fat acceptance and obesity, and so much more. I love you guys. Let's keep the conversation going, keep it respectful, keep it kind, and good luck on keeping awake. I'll see you soon. Bye guys.